It's the Formula One Rolex Garcia Preis von Österreich 2022. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. We were off last week. We missed the British Grand Prix. One of the best races I've ever seen. We may quickly recap it, but Leclerc wins this week with Verstappen, P2. Oh, yes. It's Austrian Grand Prix, yes.
Yep.
Verstappen, P2, Hamilton, P3, Russell, P4, Ocon,
no. Oh,
P5. Yeah. But this is the F1 side pod. I'm Cody.
I'm Paul.
Noah is not with us this week. What's he doing?
His mommy-in-law's in town.
Oh, I was going to come up with something dumb. His car broke down at the slime factory that he works at. There you go. That's totally true.
He's the one that produces the slime from his slime gland.
Yeah. Yeah, he produces slime just from his glands. Noah's always slimy. For anybody who's never met Noah, he's always slimy. And he's not here to defend himself, so this is the truth. But a pretty decent race. My voice just cracked. I'm going through puberty again. Excuse me. Like I said, the British Grand Prix, we were off 4th of July. We had technical issues. All kinds of different stuff. We were all scattered throughout the U.S.
Windstream cut my fiber line at my house, so we didn't have internet here. And
not to call out anybody directly, but it's their fault.
It is. Metronet told me so.
But it was tightly contested at times. There were, there was kind of more fights in the midfield and people working their way up because they were handing out penalties all over the place.
Norris just could not keep it on track.
Norris couldn't keep it on track. I think somebody else, multiple people got called for it, but I think a couple people got penalties. Russell got a penalty for his collision with Perez in that first lap, and he worked his way back up to P4. So only finished once out of the top 5, and it's because somebody had one of the worst wrecks I've ever seen live, or kind of live. They didn't show it at the British Grand Prix. But all in all, I mean, good drive for Leclerc, good drive for Ferrari until Sainz's engine turned into a giant fireball.
Right. Ferrari with their bad engines again.
Yeah, man.
Unreliable.
It's
I was thinking of this right after that happened. It was like, fuck, I just lost my train of thought.
Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz. I'm just going to start naming people. Hamilton.
Oh, well, okay. I was thinking, what a horrible time to start having engine reliability troubles. Like Red Bull had it like the first couple races, and then they figured it out. And it seems like they're doing fine with it. But now Ferrari's having it like mid-season, and that sucks because now they're not only are they fighting for the championship at this point, but now they're like having to troubleshoot these engine issues. It seemed like,
which I will say, I heard during qualifying that the cost cap is increasing.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that during qualifying. I did just watch the highlights though.
Yeah, they said in the middle of one of the qualifying or practice or something. I don't know. They all kind of blend together, but that the FIA had come out of a meeting and said they are going to increase it. Like I think they said 3% to go with inflation.
Okay. Well, inflation's like 8%, so I don't see how that.
Well,
math
they're
works
increasing
out.
it 3%. So,
sounds like my job.
Yeah. But so, that could help. I mean, I think some of the teams complaining about not having enough money, it's just because they want to develop more and they're having to pay more for shipping than they wanted to and wanted to develop more.
Right, yeah, it seemed like the shipping thing was becoming a big issue.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I get it. It's like the overall budget of the teams, but it's like, and me and my buddy Steve were talking about this last week, and was like, why don't they do like separate budgets? Like shipping costs do not count towards the.
I thought about that too, but I think it's which I guess you still have to develop and make the parts, but I guess they're afraid that then people would just be like, oh well, if shipping doesn't count, then we're just going to develop things every day and send it out. Or I think the issue with that too is they're afraid that people are going to say,
Yeah.
"Oh, that was technically a shipping cost.
Right.
That doesn't count." And so they're going to have to either clearly define it or just say, "Hey, it's all one thing."
Right.
But yeah.
Well, what if it was like shipping of parts? I'm thinking more like shipping the team to the next race. Like that would be the
Yeah, because I don't know what all it entails necessarily. I know part of it is shipping out parts to like get to a race for upgrades to get there faster or
Right.
something. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be better. I think though teams are going to take, as you know, with any sport, but especially F1,
Take advantage.
they're going to take advantage of any little loophole they can get and work the rules that way. But yeah. So, but to the Austrian Grand Prix,
yes.
decent.
What we're here for.
Yeah, couple decent battles in the front. Leclerc getting past Verstappen, what,
Pretty
three
quick.
times?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
They were just
Red Bulls didn't have the pace that I thought they were going to have coming into this race, especially after watching like qualifying in that sprint race, especially the sprint race yesterday.
yeah, and they were saying that like, Leclerc said after the sprint, he said, we didn't get we're still 2 and 3, but we have a lot more, but they didn't show it. But I guess he was right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, but because Sainz would have passed Verstappen if not for the fact that his engine exploded on
Oh
him.
yeah, he was like right at striking distance.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe they found something, but still, reliability is something you don't want to be bad at.
Right.
I mean, because that's how Mercedes is where they are, is they've been reliable and finished races, and
Consistently reliable.
and then now they're actually getting their car back to being fast and up there at the top, and so reliable and fast is kind of a winning formula for the most part.
Yes,
But
consistency.
I just noticed we didn't pay attention to who was awarded driver of the day. It was Mick Schumacher.
I'll definitely take that. Like,
Mick Schumacher,
he did
who finished
really
in the
well.
points
What was
now
it,
2 weeks in a row.
He finished sixth
place.
Yeah, that's
Now has 12
nuts.
points, but having 0
him and K-Mag did
in points. Yeah,
really
6 and
well
8.
this weekend.
Yeah,
It was nice to see that.
I was telling you during the race that if we keep doing the if we were told this last year thing, but if last year you said hey, Q3 in qualifying has 5 teams in it, so 10 people, it's 5 teams. Everybody's got their 2 people in it, and the 5 teams were going to be Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari. Okay, understandable. Alpine. Right. Okay, they could get there, and then Haas. You'd be like, shut up.
Bullshit.
Yeah. No, they're not.
There's no way Mazepin's going to be good next year.
Yeah, there's no way Mazepin's gonna. Yeah. But yeah, they and their upgrades come in the next race in France.
Nice.
So they don't even have their upgrades yet.
Nice.
So it could be hopeful. I mean, they're now in 7th place in the constructors. They passed Alpha Tauri today. Yeah, they're 7th place, 34 points. So I mean, they're working their way up.
Yeah, I would never have thought that Haas would have been as good as they are this season.
Yeah. Because the past few years they've looked like a bunch of wankas.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they look like rock stars. But yeah, and then also at the end, after Sainz's car caught on fire, because it seemed to be the way it goes, Ferrari's going good, and then something just terrible happens.
Well, that's what I was like hoping for, because like Red Bull they'd get the undercut and immediately lose it after a couple laps, and that's what I just kept hoping was at the very end Leclerc was gonna have engine issues as well, and Max would get that win. But
yeah, but instead,
I mean, I like seeing Red Bull winning, but what I was telling you during the race too, it's like Ferrari needs to be, at least Leclerc needs to be catching up to Max in points, because I don't want it to be like the last 5 races left and they're like already crowning Max.
Yeah, like it's
champion.
been before last year, like it'd been years
Right, with
before, where
Hamilton.
it was like it's like round 15, and they're already
They're
like,
like,
and Lewis Hamilton's won,
Right.
so the rest of these races really don't matter. We're still going to do them.
Yeah, except for, I mean, I guess you got the constructors, but I think
Yeah.
even at that point, like
Constructors
was pretty much
Yeah.
settled as well.
Yeah, but at least that's a tight race for the most part because of these reliability issues.
Right.
Honestly, it's not out of the realm of possibility for Mercedes to win the constructors title because they've consistently finished decently high up. And other people have not. But speaking of reliability, then the last 8-10 laps, Leclerc's throttle wouldn't go all the way back up.
Right, it was staying at 20%.
Yeah,
even when he had his foot off
turns.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Which I saw as a benefit because you're never not throttling in the turns.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I thought because of how much issue they've had staying on track, I was like, ooh, if he goes off track because of this, he could get a 5-second penalty, which takes the win away.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get there's so many moving parts that something you just don't look at that day could go wrong. But it really seems like they've had issues. And I mean, they've all had issues in one way or another. Verstappen, you didn't get to watch Silverstone. You were busy.
I was at the lake.
Highly recommend it. Anybody listen to this, if you didn't watch Silverstone either, watch it. It's one of the best races I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm sure the one race I didn't catch was the best race of the season.
It was really good. And I hate that we were off last week.
Oh, I know.
But Verstappen ran over a piece of carbon fiber from one of the AlphaTauri cars, and it got stuck in his floors, and that slowed him down. But so stuff like that. I mean, it's just random. So it's a mixture of reliability and luck and all this other stuff. But it just seems like Leclerc worked it out today, but for the most part, he's been on the wrong side of the luck.
Right.
But yeah. But do you want to do our driver of the day? Schumacher was the people's driver of the day, if you will. And if Noah was here, he'd for sure be his driver of the day. And he might still be mine anyways. I'm trying to think. Do you have a nomination?
It was going to be Schumacher.
Schumacher, okay.
Yep.
Just to speak on it, I suppose, I will put forward Esteban Ocon. He only gained the one place he only gained one place even with two people in front of him DNFing. But he qualified for Weekend Warrior. He qualified P6. He finished P5 in the fourth fastest car. Maybe that's where he's supposed to be, but just, I guess, as a shout out, because honestly, I also want to give it to Schumacher, but just to give a shout out to somebody else.
I don't know. I think if you're going to go with that logic, you're going to have to give it to Lewis Hamilton.
No, we're not going to do that.
I don't know. I would totally argue it till I die, but if you're going to go by that logic for Ocon, I think you would have to pick Hamilton over that.
Yeah, because Hamilton qualified P8 and finished P3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to go with that logic. We're going to give it to Mick Schumacher.
Yeah, we can't go with that.
All right, congratulations, Mick Schumacher.
Yeah.
You've gotten 2 points 2 weekends in a row, and I think that's honestly made him very confident, which is good. But you've gotten points so too, 2 weeks in a row, and you are now our driver of the day, the biggest award you've ever gotten in your career. Yay. Wait, it's the same time. But yeah, and then, well, you didn't watch Silverstone. Maybe we'll go over it some other time a little bit more. It was high octane enjoyment. Real quick, actually, Zhou Guanyu, gotta say it the right way.
Yeah.
Had a terrible wreck. I showed it to you because you hadn't even seen that.
I hadn't even seen it, and I had heard about it. But I was pretty shocked that he actually raced this weekend after seeing it.
He didn't even go to the hospital. They sent Albon to the hospital because he collided with a wall on that same thing. They sent Albon to the hospital. He just stayed and they looked at him, which was kind of shocking to me. But he was like walking around after the race, talking to his team boss and everything. Just totally fine. So good on the F1 for having the safety measures, having the halo. Definitely kept him from being decapitated.
Yep.
And having the safety stuff to where that would have been a fatal wreck before all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so good on them for that not being a fatal wreck.
Yeah, it seems like that halo has definitely saved. I'll pun intend, saved a lot of people's necks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the same. There was a wreck in F2 where it was similar to the Monza wreck with Verstappen and Hamilton last year,
right?
Where Verstappen's tire hit Hamilton on the head, but a guy got pushed off the track, hit a curb, and landed on top of the guy who pushed him off track. And like tire hit his head, but because of the halo, it didn't go as far down.
Right, you didn't feel the weight of it.
Yeah, and so good on them. Our applause for the day is for both Mick Schumacher and the F1 safety.
Okay, well, no. So now I'm going to argue that because when Sainz's engine caught fire.
That's true. Well, good on F1 safety procedures. Bad on those trackside.
Firefighters.
Yeah, whatever. I can't think of the right word, but because there was one guy who didn't seem like he was in shape to be running with anything, who took forever to get out there with a fire extinguisher.
And then he just placed it on the ground and ran away from the fire extinguisher.
But good on the guy who did get out there. I think you should have gotten out there a little bit faster, but still you did it. That was a little bit. It was the whole car was catching on fire. Sainz was trying to get out. He had parked it uphill. Those things don't have parking brakes because why would they? And these guys are just like slowly like jogging, I guess.
Yeah.
With fire extinguishers and like didn't look like they were trying that hard. And I was like, come on, at least look like you're trying. Like, or if you're gonna be this trackside guy waiting for something to happen, be more ready.
And we were both sitting there like it was a small fire at first. We're like, okay, oh crap, his engine's on fire. There's like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
And then like it's engulfed and he's still in the car. It's like they need to get his ass out of there.
Yeah. It went from it's a small fire to his whole car is on fire. Right now. But so good on the FIA or F1 in general with that. Bad on those particular people.
I would say good on FIA F1 for designing safety features, but in live action situations,
bad on the responsiveness of the team.
Bad on the response team.
Yeah. So that's where we'll go to break on that finger wag that we've given to the FIA that they're never going to recover from.
Right.
That's where we'll head to our break. All right, welcome to the break where this is where ads would go if we had advertisers, which
we might be
coming. Yeah, we're not going to say anything until they give us money because that's how advertising works.
Let's just say that one of our targeted people actually bought a thing that we targeted towards him.
Kinda. We actually went on a different thing, but part of what we said got him to get there.
The initial target.
Yeah.
When we were brainstorming. About keyboards.
Yeah.
And a keyboard was bought by by someone from a company.
Yeah, but what company? We won't tell until they give us money or something.
We've Twittered at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At F1 side pod. Yeah, if you want to see those tweets. But so I feel like anytime anytime Noah's not here, we need to advertise to him.
Yeah.
Partially to see if he listens to the podcast when he's not on it. I highly doubt. Yeah. Just like my dad. We targeted my dad. I don't think my dad knows how to find a podcast. Dad, if you found this, good job. But I probably helped you. So, so what does Noah need? Last time we advertised something dumb. Oh, NBA jerseys so that he could be a cool boy.
Right, that's when Adam was on the podcast.
Yeah, because he was a real big nerd. So we did say at the beginning that he produces slime out of his pores.
Oh, his glands.
His glands. Yes, sorry, not his pores. His certain glands. Yes. So you know what? I think if you're producing slime out of your glands, you're going to need a lot of Bounty paper towels.
Probably. Well, he makes money off the slime he produces from his glands.
Yes, so you collect it.
You don't want to get it in a paper towel. You got to have some way to collect it to sell it.
Do you think he just puts one of those breast pumps around his gland and just sucks out the goo that way?
Well, where is the gland?
I don't want to ask him, I'm afraid.
I bet it's on his arm.
You probably.
Yep.
He can just suction cup it to his arm and just suck out the goo for a little bit.
Yeah, like it wouldn't even have to be like a breast pump. You know, the people, I think like people that do a lot of working out and stuff like gym people that do that, like the cupping.
Oh yeah, to help with blood flow.
Yeah,
you can just do that and just fill up some cups and then pop them off, and you gotta
a cup of slime.
Yeah, you got a vial of goo.
And you can sell it on the slime market.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So let's see. Now, as far as in commercial form, this is so dumb. Do you have those pesky glands that produce goo and you don't know what to do with it? Ugh, it's everywhere. Get your cup of goo container, just cup it on that goo gland and go to town. Now you've got a business that you can sell on Etsy. Goo cups. I like how we may have real advertisers that want to advertise with us, and this is the most recent thing we do before we do real shit.
Or hey, they'll hear this shit, be like,
no, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah. We don't do ads like this all the time. It's just whenever we don't have people giving us real money. We'll be serious if you give us real money. F1sidepod@gmail.com.
Yeah, because you'll notice like every other ad break we do is pretty serious.
Yeah, they're all serious. We'll have goofs because people don't like it to be goofless, but we won't goof about your products.
Right.
Yeah. So if you've got products you want us to take seriously and just goof around them, like I said, f1sidepod@gmail.com. Email us. We'll advertise your stuff. Way better than we did the goo cups. I promise.
Yeah, that was just off the...
Yeah, that was off the dome. We will write stuff on paper for you.
We'll have a email open with your copy that you sent us, and we'll read that.
Yeah, yes, and we'll read it like we care,
and that'll keep us on track too, so we don't get
off track. Yeah, because we often get off track.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of on track, the next on track action is coming up in the next part of the podcast. Okay, maybe we made money from that. Probably not, but we'll see. So the next race coming up is France. Dun, dun, dun. I don't remember watching the France race last year, but I know you said you really liked the France race.
I really like racing it on the game.
Oh yeah.
That's the only way I know if I like a track is if I've driven it myself.
Yeah, you've got to have firsthand knowledge. But it's a
fun track though. There's a ton of runoff space.
Is it gravel runoff space?
No. Okay, so what's cool about this track is the runoff space. It goes in zones. So like it's what the French flag colors is red, white, and blue, just like America.
Oh yeah.
And so like there's like there's like the blue zone, and then there's the white zone and the red zone. And each time you hit those zones, it's more
like sandpapery.
Yeah, it's grippy. Exactly more grip. So like if you do run off, it'll just like progressively get more grippy to stop.
So you don't get like stuck in the gravel, but you could hurt your tires.
Right. Yeah, it could rip the crap out of your tires.
Well, that's good.
But yeah,
it's good for interesting and like you need a punishment for running off. If it's just if it's the same.
Well, I mean, gravel is pretty big punishment too.
Yeah, for sure. Gravel and grass are the worst.
Yeah,
but
and
it's fun sometimes.
And
wall is the worst.
That's the worst.
You know what? Concrete wall is the worst. Then gravel and grass, but wall is the worst. Yeah, right, for sure. But I mean, it's got obviously some straight areas, as all tracks do.
It has I like the big DRS zone, like on the back half of the track.
Yes, but then it's got a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah,
it's pretty well divided.
There's a lot of like big like 90-degree turn, like
real tight hairpins.
Not quite hairpin turn, but just real tight.
Yeah.
A lot of places to pass on those tighter turns.
Yeah,
like there.
Wide, kind of the wider. Yeah. Last year, Max Verstappen won here. Then 2 years before that was Lewis Hamilton, and then they hadn't raced here since 1990.
Oh wow.
And it's already being talked about going off the schedule again. So cool. But still, I'm excited. I'm excited to see about it and watch it because I don't remember watching it last year specifically. But do we want to predict our predictions
Predict our predictions.
for this race?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to go first or should I lead off?
Well, I can go ahead and go first. It's going to be very familiar.
Okay, I'm going to try to go unfamiliar.
Okay. So, of course, Verstappen's going to win. Mm-hmm. And then Leclerc is going to be second. I'm going to say Sainz is going to be third, though. And fourth, Perez had a bad weekend. I'm going to give it to Perez. And then I'm going to say Russell.
Okay.
Pretty vanilla.
So I want to mix it up because honestly, these past few races have mixed it up. I mean, Ocon was in the top 5. Hamilton's got 2 podiums in a row.
Boo.
So, you know what? I'm going to say, when Sainz got his first win last week, I'm going to say Leclerc won,
Okay.
Verstappen. Then I'm going to go, I'm putting Russell on the podium.
Ooh.
I'm really mixed. Here's the thing. We've barely kept track of how right and wrong we are.
Right.
And we really very rarely actually call back to when we're wrong and make ourselves look bad.
Maybe we should start doing that.
Yeah, maybe we should. We'll say what Noah said though.
Right.
This weekend we'll tell him
and we'll
that he
make
was
him
wrong.
feel bad.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll go Russell on the podium. Then I'm gonna say Sainz is in there. And man, do I want to put Ocon back up in the top 5? You know what?
No.
You know what? You know what? I'm going balls to the wall this week.
Okay.
France is where Haas is having their upgrades come in.
Okay. Are you going to say Schumacher? Or
I'm not. I'm saying the
K-Mag?
other one. I'm saying Kevin.
Yay, Kevin.
Yay, Kevin. Go, Kevin. I'm putting Kevin Magnussen at P5 next week.
Wow.
I mean, they looked good on this track.
But what if their upgrade is a downgrade?
That would be bad for the whole team. I can't
Right.
imagine they would spend this much time in development and push it back and then be wrong about it. Mm-hmm. That's the old Haas thing to do.
Right.
This is new Haas. Yeah.
Right.
It's like
This is-
new Coke.
This is
It's
Haas,
wait, no, it's not like new Coke. That was bad.
This is like Haas, new Haas sans Mazepin.
Yeah. This is
Mazepin was a curse.
This is like it's like
the
Crystal.
team.
It's like Crystal Pepsi. They removed all the Russians. that's how Crystal
Right.
Pepsi came to be, right?
Yeah.
So, let's see. What's Noah's predictions though? He texted them to me.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Okay. So
really
Noah.
wanted to make-
Wow. Noah went really crazy. Noah had Bottas winning.
Okay.
He had Alonso in P2.
What?
I'd like to see it. He said Danny Rick's going to be P3.
Wow.
He put Schumacher up there, but he didn't want to give him a podium. What an asshole.
Jeez.
And then, oh, wow. He did it again. He put Mazepin in P5.
Oh my God. I
What
thought
an
we got
idiot.
it through his head last time that Mazepin doesn't race anymore.
Yeah, well, you know Noah. He's too busy producing goo to
Yeah.
remember things. He's never going to listen to this. If he does listen to it, we're getting a text or he's going to be like, you assholes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are Noah's predictions. So Bottas, Alonso, Ricardo, Schumacher, Mazepin somehow. Man. And then his dark horse is Lewis Hamilton. I don't think that's a really like... I don't think that's a good dark horse prediction.
I mean, it
he's-
would have been good for last week.
That's true. He came out of nowhere. Oh wait, is this Noah's dark horse coming up on us?
Dark horse driver.
We're gonna add music to that at some point. I say that every week and
yeah,
just keep
and
forgetting.
never do.
We'll figure it out at some point. Maybe if we get money. But so that's his dark horse, which it's whatever. He just doesn't understand this whole podcast. My dark horse driver, I mean, I kind of named him in some of my, like fucking K-Mag, I put in P5. But just to add somebody else to it, I'll say Valtteri Bottas, who Noah has finishing P1.
You know what? I was going to say the same thing just because Noah wanted him P1. I was like, that's a good idea, Noah.
Yeah.
I'm going to make him my dark horse.
Well, one of us has to switch. We can have the same dark horse.
Okay. Who would be my second pick for dark horse?
I don't know.
I'm going to say Norris. I want to see Norris do well.
Yeah, I want to see Norris.
I say this every other week, it seems, but
my prediction preseason that I thought was mild, my hot take that was mild, was that Sainz and Norris would win a race. But that's when the McLaren looked like potentially the fastest car.
Yeah,
and it is not.
Well, it might be if they knew how to drive it correctly.
Yeah. Which they did actually. You know what? Since we mentioned that, I did see a thing where Zach Brown, the
not the band, the man.
Yes, the guy who looks like what's his
Jon
name?
Favreau.
Jon Favreau's brother.
Right.
He apparently said something along the lines of like, "We're not gonna judge Daniel right now because we haven't given him a car that is good."
Yeah.
So they put it on themselves that they didn't really nail the car this year. But no, I want Lando Norris to win a race badly.
Me too.
Almost half or more of it is to just watch him celebrate and hear the radio message when they tell him P1, because he goes nuts in that car.
Oh yeah.
And that's one of the most fun things to hear. Like I know Verstappen is kind of calm, calculated kind of person, but even he gets excited. But like Hamilton's been there so many times that they're like, "All right, Lewis, it's P1," and he's like, "All right, thanks guys."
Yeah,
that's it. It's like, be excited about it.
These people are driving dangerously though out here.
Yeah, I was driving dangerously. Did you see that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to see Norris win a race too. I don't blame that, but I don't know. I also want to see Bottas honestly win a race without Mercedes under him.
Yeah, I would too. That would be great.
But the race after France is Hungary, which last year is where all the chaos happened, and Ocon won his first race.
Yep.
And all that. So I mean, anything can happen there, but we'll see if it happens. And then we got the stat of the week to kind of close this thing out.
I like numbers.
I do. So the stat of the week this week, this is Leclerc's first win not starting pole position.
Oh.
All his other wins in F1, he has started pole position.
That's interesting.
Except this race. So congrats, Leclerc, for moving up one position. Yeah. Moving up one position and taking the race. I say that as if it's a small feat. He did very well today.
Yeah, he did.
Especially
it's hard to take out Maxi.
Yeah. But so congratulations to all involved, and we'll see how our predictions do next week. I'm sure, or 2 weeks from now. I'm sure we'll talk about it a lot. We'll forget and not say anything about it, except Noah. We'll tell him how bad his predictions were.
Yeah, we'll really shame him on his horrible picks.
Yeah. If one of these is correct, we can't talk about it at all.
No.
But yeah, so we'll end the show. We'll see you guys, or you'll hear us in 2 weeks. We are on social media on Twitter at F1side-pod. Business inquiries, F1sidepod@gmail.com. Rate us, review us on whatever you're listening to this on. Tell us we got nice feet. Let's get on.
That's weird.
Let's get on Wiki Feet.
Oh God.
But we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I've been Cody,
and I've been Paul,
and we'll catch you guys next time.